It was always going to be difficult, and I know there are plenty who are frustrated, who, because of missed chances or the negative things we're going to talk about in this match review, it felt like maybe it was possible. And as we always say, it is the hope that kills you, certainly. But in this match, there's a lot to be proud of, and for those who've been following this channel for a while, you know that's where I was going to land with this match review. Barcelona were in good form heading into this match, and that didn't stop after this one. Since last facing PSG, Barcelona was on a run of 4 wins and 1 draw, now make it 4 wins and 2 draws in their last 6. Would newly arrived president, and yes, Carlos Busquets is cut out of this picture, could Laporta be the bump that Barcelona needed? Obviously, we were all dreaming of the remontada, and that was the stuff that we were talking about this week about, again, hope. Was it possible? I think most disappointing, other than the missed chances and the things that could have gone Barca's way, was that it completely takes the wind out of the sails when it feels like VAR, and yeah, I guess some wasted chances, decide a match when one team was so dominant. But we'll get there, because I'm not going to say the referee's name, I'm not going to say that it came down to VAR, but there are moments in the Champions League, in Europe, it's those tiny microseconds that are the difference between getting to the next round and going home early. PSG, history did say that they were not going to concede 4 goals. They hadn't done that at home for 20 years since Mauricio Pochettino was in the side as a player. Let's start with the lineup from Koeman. He went with a 3-4-3. He's been going recently with the 3 at the back in a 3-5-2, but this certainly was more of a 3-4-3 with the young back with Lenglet and Mingueza, knowing that Barcelona were going to have plenty of possession today, and that gets Griezmann, Messi, and Dembélé on the field together, and all doing different jobs in this game as well. Unfortunately, it got off to a bad note. Lenglet an early giveaway within the first minute. Busquets, though, winning it back as he did many times today. 7th minute was the first real opportunity for Barcelona. Kurzawa picks up an early yellow on a foul on Dembélé. Keep that in mind for later. Messi a bit high on the free kick. Dembélé in behind in the 11th minute. Alba was the one who found him. No dice there. 13th minute, first real counterattack from Barca. Alba to Griezmann and a nice through ball to Dembélé, whose first good opportunity of the game was blocked by Keylor Navas. A few minutes later, a Mingueza header goes wide on the first corner opportunity for Barca. Keylor Navas, another save on Dembélé from a wide angle a few minutes after that. Felt like deja vu, rinse and repeat, Dembélé against Keylor Navas. It was still all Barcelona. They were buzzing. Serginho Dest off the crossbar after the switch of play. Then a few moments after that, Messi sliding in but can't meet the ball from Dembélé. And this myriad of chances in the first 30 minutes, yeah, it gave you hope, but it was also disappointing. If Barcelona put any of those home, we're talking about a different match at that point. But because Barca couldn't break through, now time was already starting to be a factor, because at that moment Barca still needed the 4 away goals to get past PSG. 29th minute, for all the possession that Barcelona had up to that point, PSG fortunate on the shot from Kurzawa. Lenglet clips Icardi, gets a yellow, and PSG gets a penalty. And I've been critical of Lenglet for those moments and those lapses in judgment this year. This one was so close. It was a soft penalty, and that unfortunately dictated what happened for the rest of this match. Is it a penalty? By the rule of the law, yes it is. Is it a penalty that needs to be called, looking at what would happen in the rest of this match? Well, no. It was based on decisions that were made later. Mbappe scores this one, while Barcelona deserved one of their own. At that point, though, Barca could have hung their heads and say, we're out of this tie, it's over, but they didn't do that. 5 minutes after that, Dembélé's best opportunity comes in the 34th minute. Unfortunately, he knocked it into the ground and had to get more on it. Dembélé, I think this is actually the last thing I'll say about the Frenchman here in the first half, because it was more the same for the rest of the match. Just not good enough today. Good enough for the last week and a half, but not good enough tonight. He's going to get the most blame because Barca couldn't mount a comeback, but I'm just left wondering what this would have looked like for Barcelona had they had a proper number 9. Dembélé is one of the best wingers that you're going to see around. He's a game changer. He creates chances, has effective movements, has speed to burn, does a lot of things really well. Fati, however, is a much more complete player. So if Dembélé is your 4th most important attacker, you're in good shape. But unfortunately, Fati has missed so much of this year. Griezmann has once again gone cold in front of net, if that's actually his job, and you're not getting much from Braithwaite or other attackers coming off the bench. Time and time again, though, because of inconsistencies in finishing, Dembélé isn't the second goal-scoring option against teams with top keepers and defenders, which is what PSG have. But because he does so many other things that I spoke about well, in creating chances, effective movements, opening up space, and putting himself in the position to break through, that's what makes his game just that much more frustrating. So I do understand the frustration, but unfortunately, I know I'm going to see much more hate for Dembélé than he actually deserves. 35th minute, Mingueza comes off for Junior Firpo. Junior Firpo did well coming on as the right center back afterwards. Mingueza, unfortunately for him, it was a short day, but he already had a yellow. I'm not overthinking it. He'll recover from this, and it's okay for a young player like him to have Mbappe get the better of you. And he actually, at that point, had done a pretty good job against Mbappe. Other than the penalty, there's not much to speak of for the Frenchman today. 37th minute, Barca finally do break through. It's Pedri to Messi. Verratti doesn't step fast enough, so Messi takes it to his left and blasts it past Navas. Good to see that Navas can't stop everything. And Messi at that moment, you could tell, the captain, he was going to continue to push this team. There was a will and there was still a desire, and that's as Culers what we want to see, that belief. A minute later, this was a penalty, was it not? Dest should have earned this penalty, shaken up after contact with Navas, Navas putting his arm into Dest. Instead, De Jong gets a yellow apparently for something he said. I ask, where's VAR on that? Let's keep going. Busquets takes the wide open shot that Navas didn't know much about, but still keeps it out. Again, luck and fortune combined with Navas' superior goalkeeping wound up being a good day for him in the net. Just before halftime, Kurzawa fouls Griezmann inside the penalty box, which should have been his second, correct, if Lenglet got a yellow on the other side. But I digress. Barca does get a penalty. Messi steps up, but once again, we have to give credit to Navas instead of saying that Barcelona are just this terrible team that can't do X, Y, Z. Navas got just enough, guessed right, and the crossbar came to his rescue as Messi tried to power past him on the penalty kick. On this kick as well, as you can see by the image, Verratti had jumped into the box and was next to touch it. So again, VAR, I'm asking questions here. Second half, Kurzawa with the yellow came off for Abdou Diallo, the center back playing left back for the rest of this match. PSG did change their game plan a bit in the second half to get more involved in the contest, more willing to have the midfield step up farther up the pitch. But that only worked for like 5 minutes, and then Barca took over again. So I'm not sure if that was an actual instruction, because everybody was back behind the ball, but Icardi by the 51st minute. Busquets and De Jong, I know Barca didn't win this match, but they were really, really good today, just suffocating those ball recoveries. And I'll mention Pedri at the end. PSG changes in the 59th minute. Idrissa Gana for Danilo and Draxler for Di Maria. Di Maria for the 30-plus minutes he was on the field. Honestly, PSG's only outlet to keep possession of the ball, and he did a good job to waste time that PSG were once again trying to do this entire match because they were just trying to finish off the tie. 61st minute, Marquinhos also had a good day for PSG, somehow throwing his body right in front of Messi before he can control the bouncing ball. Unfortunate there for the Argentine again. 66th minute, Dest on for Trincao. Dest was good in this match, much better than the first leg, obviously, and maybe one of his best matches for Barcelona. A reminder that he's a winger turned fullback, and the ability he does have when Barcelona overload his side and give him the ability to go out and around, as in outside to the touchline and in on those runs, as opposed to trying to go completely vertical up the side as they tried to have him do in the first leg. That's not really where you're going to see Dest at his best. Also noted should be that he had the second highest position on the field for Barcelona, just behind Dembélé and ahead of Griezmann and Messi. You could tell that Barca were getting a bit tired themselves in the second half, and you could feel the belief start to tick away just a bit, even though they were still fighting for every ball, creating chances, and making sure that they were playing out this tie, which is a good sign to see, as I said, as we continue on towards other trophies. 79th minute, Iash Moriba, Pjanic, and Braithwaite on for Pedri, Busquets, and Dembélé. For Iash, his Champions League debut, another milestone, check it off, and one of what I believe to be many Champions League appearances that are in the 18-year-old's future. Unfortunately, Barca couldn't get another one. They couldn't actually make this a win, even though they were out in the tie no matter what. Post-game, Mbappe and Pedri swapping shirts. Pedri's ball recovery, again, so special. I think Mbappe knows that there's a special player, the 18-year-old midfielder from Las Palmas for Barcelona. And Pedri, just going to continue to do what he does. He's so consistent. And when you ask about youngsters, the thing that's most difficult for them is consistency. We've seen all the young players for Barcelona been up and been down this year. And aside from a rough patch of games in November and December when he was playing basically every 3 or 4 days without a rest, Pedri has been phenomenal in 2021 as well. The big takeaway from this match, I think, is the one that most people share, as much as they are frustrated that Barca couldn't complete another remontada, and that is this is a team that is good enough to keep pressure on Atletico Madrid until the end. Atletico won again today, and La Liga is certainly, not only is it theirs to lose, but it's very unlikely the Barca are going to come back, but there is pressure on a team that have not won too many La Liga trophies, other than Luis Suarez and then the one that Diego Simeone had a while back ago. And then the Copa del Rey final, where if it was 2 or 3 months ago, especially when Athletic Club had beaten Barca in the Spanish Super Cup, we're going to even be the favorite in that match. But if they keep playing the way under Koeman that they've been playing since 2021 began, Barcelona should be the heavy favorites in that Copa del Rey final, and they've earned that distinction. Before we go, I do want to mention that the Femení have moved on. It was a 5-0 win today over Fortuna Höjring, 9-0 on aggregate. They are moving on to the quarterfinals, where the matchup will certainly get much tougher. I've spoken about that aplenty, and we'll be watching that, of course. Next up for the men's team, though, is a Monday matchup with Huesca, so we'll see you then. And until then, Forza Barça.